In the following section, you create a project in the TIA portal and configure the hardware configuration of the application. You read out the configuration data of your CPU for this purpose and create ET200SP and ET200MP distributed I/O systems in addition. In the following step, you will create a new project. Click Create New Project. Enter a name for your project. Click Create to create the new project. The project has been created. All data, such as the hardware configuration, the CPU programming, and the visualization in HMI, is saved in the project. In the following step, you will create an unspecified CPU. Unspecified CPUs are placeholders for specific CPUs from the hardware catalog, which will be defined later. Open the Devices and Networks portal. Insert a new device. Enter Color Mixing CPU as the name for the CPU. Open the Schematic S7-1500 folder. Select the CPU which has not yet been specified. Create the CPU with a double click. The unspecified CPU is created in the project file. Contents of the user program can already be created at this point for this CPU. In the following section, you will use the hardware detection function to read the CPU type. Execute an LED flashing test to verify that the correct CPU was selected. The LED flashing test activates the LEDs on a detected device. You may also use this function to verify that the correct device was selected in a hardware configuration consisting of several devices. Select the unspecified CPU in the project tree. Select the hardware detection function from the online menu. Select PNIE and the interface to define the type of PGPC interface. Select the CPU from the compatible devices in the subnet. Select the Flash LED checkbox to run a flashing test. Click Detect to replace the unspecified CPU with the connected CPU type. The correct device name is appended in brackets to the CPU name in the project tree. In the following section, you will create the ET200SP and ET200MP interface modules. Change to the network view. Open the Distributed I/O and the IM155-6PNST folders. Drag and drop the interface module to the network view. Open the ET200MP and IM155-5PNST folders. Drag and drop the interface module to the network view. The interface modules ET200SP and ET200MP have been created and can be assigned to the CPU. In the following section, you will connect the two interface modules ET200SP and ET200MP with the CPU in the network view via Profinet. Drag and drop a connection from the interface of the IM155 5PN-ST interface module to the CPU interface. Drag and drop a connection from the interface of the IM155 6PN-ST interface module to the CPU interface. You have networked the interface modules with the CPU. In the following section, you will create the input and output modules and the server module for ET200SP. You need the server module to operate the input and output modules of ET200SP. These modules will fail if the server module is missing. Open the device view of ET200SP. Open the DI16 DC24V-ST folder in the hardware catalog. Drag and drop the input module to slot 1 of the rail. Open the DQ16 DC24V 0.5 AST folder. Drag and drop the output module to slot 2 of the rail. Open the Server Modules folder. Drag and drop the server module to slot 3 of the rail. You have created the input and output modules and the server module. In the following section, you will create the input and output modules for ET200MP. Open the device view of ET200MP. Open the DI and DI16 DC24V HF folders in the hardware catalog. Drag and drop the input module to slot 2 of the rail. Open the DQ and DQ16 DC24V 0.5 AST folders. Drag and drop the output module to slot 3 of the rail. You have created the input and output modules. In the following section, you will assign project-specific names for ET200SP and ET200MP. Click on ET200SP. Select the contents of the Name field under Properties, General in the Inspector window, and enter the new name Valve Control Unit. Proceed as described in steps 1 and 2 for ET200MP, but enter the name Mixer Conveyor Control Unit. You have assigned the project-specific names.